get it. It's not doing anymore. What's up, folks? Stu Myrick, ready for another week of Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. Hope you have had a good weekend, and at least a good beginning of the week. Get rid of a junk text. I'll be honest, my weekend was very quiet, which I liked very much. Did not do much, so that's good. Getting ready. We've got a radio show next week. I apologize. I totally messed up last week because we were going to be on the radio last week, and then I realized when it didn't hit, I was checking, and then I realized, oh, Texas baseball ran last week, so that's why we weren't on the horn last week. We are on the horn this week. In fact, last week was the last preemption, so we should be good going forward. I say that there might be they're in the baseball baseball playoffs, College World Series. There might be a Wednesday game, but as of right now, we are straight through for the rest of the I guess next at least 8 months, 9 months, something like that. So NXT on the air, Lyra Valkyria, I think that's the way they say her name, coming out. Dijak just beat up Ilya Dragunov, so that will be heading towards a big match. They've got a premium live event coming up, so it's probably them. Cora Jade. So it'll be Cora Jade versus Lyra Valkyria. So we will have a radio show tonight. Justin is on his way. We will talk about the new WWE World Heavyweight Championship that was introduced on Raw. Oh, so many thoughts about that. The belt itself, there are people who like it, there are people who don't like it. That always seems to happen whenever a new championship is introduced, whether it's in WWE, AEW, whatever. So we'll talk about that. We might even talk about the report from our good friend Mike Johnson, PW Insider, that CM Punk, at least briefly, was backstage at Raw. Now, I think this is much ado about nothing. This was simply Raw was in Chicago. Punk was in Chicago. He decided to go backstage. I think he was flying home from an MMA thing. He got to Chicago, went backstage to Raw, saw some friends, had a cordial conversation with Triple H, cleared the air with Miz. He was asked to leave. The call probably came from Vince, because CM Punk did sue WWE. I don't think it was necessarily because he is still contracted to AEW. Ricky Starks was backstage at Royal Rumble with Cody Rhodes. So, I don't think that was big. And like I said, I think it's a much ado about nothing. So, but we'll mention it. And we'll mention, we'll talk a little bit about what's going to happen, what's happening in the ring in WWE. Got Backlash in a week and a half. You got the WWE draft coming up starting this Friday on SmackDown on Fox. Kind of interesting that they are doing the draft at the same time as the NFL draft, which, oh, by the way, the Horn will have full coverage of the NFL draft at least on the first round starting on Thursday. Got our usual draft day party at Pluckers here in Austin, and of course I got, I think, 7 Texas Longhorns that are eligible for the draft, including arguably the best quarterback or the best running back in the country last year, Bijan Robinson. Many expect him to go early in the first round, so we'll talk about that. Second segment is in the can. On Monday, I had the opportunity to talk to the new Impact Wrestling World Champion, Steve Macklin. Had a great conversation. The interview's out there. You can get it on the podcast. You also see it on our YouTube channel as a video. But it will be part of the radio show tomorrow night. So that's out there. So yeah. Should be fun. Should be a good show. As Cora Jade currently dominating on Valkyria. It's always ironic, I think about this, on occasion. While we're doing this, we watch NXT, yet we almost never talk about NXT. Once in a blue moon. Stand to deliver, WrestleMania week, kid, that type of stuff. So, but yeah. Anyway, hope everybody had a good weekend. This coming weekend, like I said, the NFL draft Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It's in Kansas City, I believe, this year. And Justin's here. Me. Let's see. Anyway, he's at the gate, and we don't have there's no gate code anymore, so you have to use the little panel there to call, so I buzz you in. So I'll wait for him to do that here. But hey, at least he's here. That's good. Ooh. Kyria. Oh, nice kick. It was... I turned on NXT during, I guess, halfway through the trunk match between Pretty Deadly and the Family, Tony D'Angelo and Channing Stacks Lorenzo. The Family won. And I've said this before, and it's still very true. Love Booker T to death. He has been very hospitable to me whenever I go down to Reality Wrestling. Has been on the show quite a few times. Always great to talk to. Love Booker T. His commentary, it's maybe he got through. It's commentary sometimes hard to hear and listen to. It's just not that great. But I guess they like him. Just I don't know. It feels a little like he goes into business for himself a little bit. There he is. There's Justin. The ring. Oh yes, you're wearing your Melee gear. You got your gig this week, right?
Can I promo that at the end?
Sure.
Good. That would make those guys.
You got your
very-
so it's I know it's Melee. It's in Austin. Where's it at?
At the. That's a good question. It's at the Coliseum.
Coliseum.
Mm-hmm. The Coliseum.
Not City Coliseum. City Coliseum doesn't exist anymore.
I don't
Palmer? Is it Palmer?
No, it's
Palmer
like,
Event Center?
no, it's like southeast.
Huh.
It's like off of east of 35.
Okay. That's Friday, correct?
Sunday afternoon to early evening.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I know. It's always.
I got a tweet about it for work tomorrow. So
Oh, do you?
Yeah. Well, because we do all the whatever the fights are for this week, I send out via the agency Combat Sports Twitter account.
I mean, you should be busy next week.
At Texas Fights. I just go from week to week. I've got.
I mean, Cinco de Mayo next week. That's usually a big boxing week.
I got 2 or 3 boxing and 2 MMA, I think, including Melee.
Yeah,
So, I looked at it briefly today. So,
I mean, do you want to go? Pretty sure if you just tell them you're with the radio, they'll let you in. Honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if you really wanted to spend the Sunday doing that.
Yeah.
But they are going to have pro fights. I heard that Randy Couture is supposed to
Randy
be.
Couture?
Yeah, is supposed to be on like the broadcast portion.
Ooh, cool.
From what I saw, now cards are always subject to change and such, but
I mean, I know who Randy Couture is.
yeah. So
He's a legend.
yeah,
I think he's
so
a UFC Hall of Famer.
probably, if not, obviously like a.
I think Brock Lesnar fought him once in UFC.
I would have to look, man. Where's Eddie when we need him?
I know.
Yeah, Eddie would know all this.
Ah, that's right. SmackDown's in Corpus Christi.
I know.
Friday night.
I'm jealous because it looks like it's going to be 2 really good shows coming up
For the draft.
in Texas.
Yeah.
And
Because
neither one of them is close enough for me to want to go.
Yeah, Raw's in Fort Worth at Dickies Arena. They got the draft.
That would be night 2. So this is night
Yeah,
1.
That'd be night 1. Yeah.
And then that'd be a pretty good show to go see, though.
That would be.
There's usually a lot of interesting things that happen on draft night.
And of course, we get to pack out all our friends on the independent scene that are working as extras. So
which is always nice.
That's always fun. Yeah.
Hopefully, there's some new ones.
Yeah.
Maybe some old ones. Hopefully, somebody gets to wrestle a dark match. That'd be cool.
That would be cool. Yeah. So, how was your weekend?
Yeah, busy.
Busy. Well, I mean, for you, that
Wrestler, it's like, if I'm not working, I'm trying to figure out a way to work.
Yeah. Well, that's good though. That's good.
But
So,
yeah, usually try to keep those weekends booked as possible.
Yeah.
But hoping to go home here, either. I think Mother's Day is coming up soon, right?
Should be whatever the
It's like
14th.
Is it
It should be
always,
second. I think it's always second Sunday in May.
okay? Because see,
I think that's 14th.
in Mexican culture, it's always the same day. I think it's like May 10th. So that day, no
Yes.
matter when it falls,
May
always
14th
celebrate.
is Mother's Day.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the second Sunday in May.
Yeah, I think
So.
my mom would appreciate that if I can make it home. It's been
Yeah.
a while, to be honest with you.
Sure.
But with all these other dates that are going on this week, it's tough to find time.
It is. I agree.
You,
Uh,
besides being cabinless.
yeah, we sold.
Oh,
we
that's
sold
right,
the
man.
cabin.
You took that whole trip.
I'd drive up to Longview.
Like a drug dealer, making sure that you dropped off the package.
Yes. Oh, good God. Yes. Drove up to Longview to give my brother the money from the sale of the cabin. And
Where did you have the gun? Did you have it on your lap the
I
whole
did
time?
not have a
on
gun.
the seat?
I don't own a gun.
But you know that Austin
I have
has,
nothing against it, but I don't have one.
Oh, I know. But you know, Austin just has that really big that problem right now. With
Yes,
people like
yeah.
making big deposits or taking cash out and then getting, I forget what it's called. It starts with a B, but then they try to jump you afterward.
This was sold the family cabin. The cabin was in my name, so the money came to me. So I had to go take it to my brother in East Texas. He has bought a house in Gladewater, our hometown, which is about 10 miles west of Longview. And I saw the house. It's a nice house, a nice neighborhood. And so
Newer part or old part of home?
well, it's Gladewater. All of it's old.
Well,
there is no new part of Gladewater.
Really? Not even
It's
like.
not that big.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not that big. It's a small town.
I was like, even my town starting to
Town's
grow.
like 6,000.
Oh, it's only like 6,000.
Yeah.
Okay. Like
Yeah.
even where I'm from, it's like.
It's been 6,000 since I was in high school there.
Wow.
So
Wow, that's crazy.
it's a 3A school. That's the crazy part.
That's still small.
Yeah.
Especially
it's very small.
Yeah, you think where I'm from, you think it would be small, but nah, we're much bigger in comparison.
Yeah, 6,000.
And that's because my town is like insignificant in the valley.
So,
But we have both a Whataburger and a Dairy Queen. So
as does Gladewater. I think still have a Sonic.
ooh, we have our own franchise and Stars over there. But yeah, same exact thing. Sonics really don't exist in the valley now. I think about
Have a
it. They're
pizza.
there.
I know that we got a Pizza Hut. Had a Pizza Hut forever and a day.
You guys too? Okay, so that Pizza
Yeah.
Hut's been in Donna since like at least the 80s from what I
Yeah.
can recall. So, wow, it surprises me how quickly like Pizza Hut was to like get into the small towns.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Especially when it was like more of a delicacy, right? It would have been like a sit-down restaurant at the time more so than anything else.
Yeah, and it was when I was in high school. We would go after church. A bunch of us, a bunch of us older
Causing
teenagers. We'd go
The
to
ones that cause trouble.
we'd go to Pizza Hut and go have lunch.
That's when they used to have kale on the salad bar, but you didn't eat the kale; it just garnished it.
I don't.
Yeah, that's what that green stuff was.
really.
Yeah,
Okay,
it was
I
it's
don't
just kale.
remember. Yeah. Well.
They used to be the
Um,
biggest buyers of kale in the U.S. before it became a food fad.
Oh wow.
I know, useless knowledge. That's why
we
I
just
work in
bought-
radio.
we just bought pizza. So anyway,
What about the Garfield glasses? I think those came from there. No,
that may have been after my time.
like the glass Garfield mugs, or those
Yeah.
maybe came from McDonald's. No, they were really
Yeah.
well made.
Oh,
though.
I'm sure they were, but
I'm sure
I
you
don't
had
remember.
some.
I don't remember it being from Pizza Hut, but I don't remember having them either. So
Oh, did you ever have the 25th anniversary of Texas Stadium football from Pizza Hut?
no.
There was a promo because they were the official pizza of the Cowboys before they switched to Papa
Didn't have
John's.
those.
Okay,
have
I still have that. I'll have to
Yeah.
bring it to you so you can see it.
I do remember the nickel coffee mug from Whataburger. It was like a really nice, like almost I guess a glass porcelain type mug. And you took it to Whataburger
Oh,
and
yeah.
you fill it up for a nickel.
I mean,
With
I would
coffee.
never partake in that, but yes, I know what you're talking about because I've seen those.
If they still had that, I'd do that on New York second. Whataburger coffee's pretty decent.
Now, or
Now,
I mean, even after the change, because
oh sure.
nah, because even the food quality is kind of. I wasn't
still eat
expecting
Whataburger.
great, but I mean, like, I mean, I do too, but it just doesn't hit the way that it used to.
Yeah, I know. So, all right, let's make a little radio magic and talk a little new world title. Oh boy, here we go.
This is the NXT superstar Grayson Waller, and you're listening to Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. When they're not covering the sports world, they're talking about the world of professional wrestling.
It's Sports Guys Talking Wrestling.
Now, with Justin Simmons, here's Stu Myrick.
It is Sports Guys Talking Wrestling on the Horn. Stu Myrick, Justin Smash Simmons.
It's kind of like some new record. 2 weeks in a row.
I know. It's been a while. First of all, apologies. We went totally on the thought that we were going to be on the air last week. We were not because of Texas baseball. So apologize. That was, I think, our last preemption. However, we don't have another one for the regular season of baseball unless they have a Wednesday game during the Big 12 tournament or the NCAA tournament. I think we should be good on preemptions at least through the rest of the year. So, all right,
you guys still got a good show. The true fans listened in anyways.
That's right. Well, you
found us on the podcast.
Get the podcast. Your favorite podcast provider or at hornfm.com.
Catch us on Twitch.
Yes, if you Tuesday nights, YouTube and Twitch.
That way you can see what we're wearing. Stu goes through much trouble on his wardrobe for this show, y'all. You don't even realize it. You do break out a wrestling shirt every week. It's very rarely repeat.
Because I got probably at least 100 wrestling T-shirts.
That's a good thing, though. See, I mean, that means you're supporting the local workers.
I do. I'm
because
wearing
not everybody is like a national name.
Tonight, wearing my Danhausen shirt. Very nice, very evil. All right, let's hit the top story, I guess, which would be Monday Night on Raw. Triple H comes out. He was promoted that he had a big announcement that would shake the very core of WWE. Now, we're used to seeing this from AEW. Tony Khan has a huge announcement, and of course, he has a huge announcement about every other week.
That's true. Now that I think about it.
But this time it was WWE. It was Triple H. He comes out, talks about how Roman Reigns coming up on 1,000 days as undisputed Universal Champion, which technically, yes, as Universal Champion, almost 1,000 days. He's only held the WWE Championship since last year at WrestleMania. But nevertheless.
Oh, that's right, because he has both.
He has both belts. He also talked about how Roman Reigns did work out a deal to not wrestle as much and definitely not defend his title as much.
But he also noted it was smart. He would
have
done
done
the same
smart,
thing.
but it's good for him, but not good for the fans. And basically, what it boils down to is they have created a new World Heavyweight Championship.
How do you have anything else on this first segment, Stu? Because I got so many questions just about this belt, that I want to ask you that we need to break down.
I know. Let's start with okay. Everybody seems to, whenever anybody introduces a new championship, it's almost like there are those that love it, there are those that hate it.
You mean the word backlash?
What are you talking about?
There's always backlash against the new belt.
Well, no, not necessarily. Like I said, there's some that like it, some that don't. Basically, if you have not seen it, and we just showed it on YouTube and Twitch, again, Tuesday nights, YouTube and Twitch, it basically looks like they took a version of the big gold belt and slapped a WWE logo right in the center. So, you like it, don't like it, whatever. There's a lot to talk about this.
I know, that's why I was
first of all,
this whole thing.
So basically what you're saying is this is for the number 2 guy, or
yeah.
Actually, I guess if you want to count the 2 belts that Roman carries, the number 3 guy. But in essence, this is basically your number 2 guy. In other words, Roman can't be beat.
Yeah, this is the
so
silver medal. It has silver on it.
Basically, yeah. Basically, that's it. Secondly, you've now watered down whenever you do decide to take the title off of Roman, You've now watered it down because he is no longer the only world champion in WWE.
I know, and that's what bugs
We're
me about
back
this.
to 2 of them.
Like, it made sense if his belts were split.
Well, and there was so many opportunities to do that, including if you had Cody win at Mania. But basically, you're so now you have 2 champions, 2 world champions. Although, if you recall, back when we had a world champion and a universal champion. The universal champion was always the top champion.
Well, yeah, there was always going to be a 1A.
They always, no matter what they would tell you, Universal Championship was always like that was their title, even though the world title has the longer lineage.
Well, let me ask you this. Are we in agreement that Raw, despite the contracts with Fox, is still the flagship show of WWE? Or
No.
is it SmackDown?
No.
That's what I'm asking.
Okay.
Here. Which one's the show?
Well, that goes to another question. That goes to another thought about this. For the longest time, we'd always heard Monday Night Raw was the flagship program for WWE. But SmackDown gets the higher ratings because they're on a broadcast channel, a.k.a. Fox.
Free viewing.
Versus on a cable, Raw being on a cable channel, USA Network, part of NBC Universal. So, whether they want to call Raw a flagship program, it is obvious SmackDown is the hotter program. It's the number 1 show.
Wow.
Here's the other thing. So basically, for the last, I'll say 8 months at least, almost 9 months, you've not had a hard brand split. You've had guys going back and forth. The Bloodline storyline has dominated both shows. And everybody's loving it. And this was, what Triple H said Monday Night on Raw was that, so whichever brand drafts Roman Reigns will defend that Universal Championship on that brand.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah, that's all.
So so the world champion will be on the other brand, which indicates they want to try to do a hard brand split.
Oh yeah, and
again. And oh, by the way, this is at least the 3rd version of the World Heavyweight title that they've had.
Well,
because they had their version of the big gold belt, then they had the WWE Championship, whatever you call it. Now you got this one.
But the big question that we haven't even tackled yet, I think I've seen it out there. I haven't heard too many people talking about it, but it really does beg the question: what's the lineage of this belt? Because the other ones have history.
Yes, and that's what I was going to get at. So the Universal Championship, yeah, the lineage is very short because it's only been around 10 years maybe.
Yeah, but it made sense when they made it, at
Sure.
least at that time.
I see. I wasn't crazy about it then because, again, I believe you should have one world champion. AEW has one world champion, MJF. Ring of Honor has one world champion, Claudio Castagnoli. Impact has one world champion, Steve Macklin, which, by the way, you'll hear his interview next. New Japan has one world champion, Sonata. You don't have to alphabet soup world titles like they do in boxing.
Yeah, but you already described it before. Like, there's networks involved. There's politics involved that aren't wrestling politics, where there necessitates having a world champion to a specific show.
And look, I get it. this is a scripted form of entertainment. They can do whatever they want. All right, fine.
Well, they're trying to appease their broadcast partners.
So, the question you ask about lineage. So, yes, Universal Championship, been around 10 years maybe. The World Heavyweight Championship, that's the one that dates all the way back to Nature Boy Buddy Rogers back in the 60s. So, I would think that lineage is picked up by this new championship because it is, as Triple H called it, it's the World Heavyweight Championship. Again,
Okay.
This is silliness talking about a scripted entertainment program.
Well, that's why we're
But it is, for sake of historical perspective, it is kind of important.
And that's why we're here to try to help break that down, because there's tons of questions. My thing is that it seems like if that's going to be the route that they take with that, it's WWE. So therefore they can create whatever history they want out of a belt, because that's how the IC belt started. You know?
Right. And that's the thing. It's so, based on what Triple H was saying about whoever becomes the World Heavyweight Champion, which, by the way, the champion will be crowned May 27th at WWE Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia, says that it will be exclusive to that brand. So it does sound like you've got the WWE draft starting Friday night on SmackDown. It will continue next Monday on Fox, on USA, on Raw. So it sounds like they want to try a hard brand split. They've tried this at least half a dozen times. And every time they eventually just muddy the wine and everybody goes back and forth. I don't know why they felt like they needed to make a new title. And by the way, what does Roman, so now does Roman only carry the one belt? Does he only carry the Universal belt?
No, I imagine it's more like All Japan Pro Wrestling back in the day, where their champion carried all three belts, regardless of the lineage associated to it within that company.
Or
so
like Ultimo Dragon carrying the nine belts.
Yeah, same deal. So, and then three of them were that All Japan belt.
Yeah, right.
So it's like, okay, so there is precedence to this.
Triple Crown, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not too far-fetched for him to be carrying both belts. I guess the question is, like, what lineage does that World Heavyweight Championship that he carries hold? Is that just like the WWE?
It carries the Universal lineage, because they're calling it the Undisputed Universal Champion.
Yeah.
Although now
that you use the word,
you can't use undisputed, because now you got a world champion
on
whatever brand that champion gets drafted.
It's kind of funny. What they essentially did was enact the same issue that boxing has been trying to contend with years, with having all their alphabet belts.
Yes.
And that's why the lineage of the heavyweight championship in boxing is so important, to have the undisputed title fights, because that's the guy who beat the guy who beat the guy. Yeah. And that's what makes it important. And in this case, again, there's precedents for this. The Intercontinental Championship was won in a fake tournament. This is going to be won in a real tournament at least. It does solve the problem of, both brands need to have a world champion that or at least one of them is going to have one that's always working. I know that was always a big gripe for a lot of people about, like, hey, Roman doesn't defend the title. Okay, that fixes that issue, so I'm okay with that. But again, just like in AEW with it's not All Atlantic anymore. I forget
the International Championship.
Thank you. It's like, what does it
currently
mean?
held by Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, like, what does that mean? And it's like, in this World Heavyweight Championship, like, what does that mean?
Well, the International Championship in AEW is basically their Intercontinental or their U.S. title. That's basically.
But I thought that's what their TNT one was supposed to be, because it was created first.
Okay, And I think it's kind of on the same footing. So, I mean, we will see what happens. Roman is not expected to work Backlash next week in Puerto Rico. So we won't see Roman Reigns till probably leading up to Saudi Arabia, towards the end of May, towards Memorial Day weekend. Like I said, I think it muddies the waters quite a bit. They could have done this. They could have just done this by taking the world title from Roman, splitting the two belts they had. But whatever, you go
up to the tribal chief and take one of his belts and see how he handles it. I don't think that was going to happen.
I get it. I get it. So, but still. So, getting into a little bit of the rumor innuendo, the talk around the campfire. A report from our good friend Mike Johnson at PW Insider. Guess who was backstage at Monday Night Raw in Chicago? CM Punk. Now, CM Punk, who is still contracted to AEW, apparently he was coming back to Chicago from Florida, doing commentary for an MMA show or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Raw is at the Allstate Arena, technically Rosemont, the old Rosemont Horizon. And Punk decided he wanted to go backstage and, I guess, see some friends, whatever. So he does. He goes back there. Apparently he still has friends at WWE.
I'm just joking. He obviously does.
Apparently had a nice conversation with Triple H. Allegedly cleared the air with The Miz on some stuff I guess he wrote in his book or whatever. And then apparently word got to Vince. Vince said, get him out of there. Okay. I do believe this is much ado about nothing. This was nothing more than a former WWE wrestler going to a WWE show and saying hi to friends.
I mean, maybe.
I think that's all it was.
I mean, it usually starts off that way. It's kind of like,
he's not going to work for WWE.
I mean, you say that, but I mean, like, you can
never
say never in this business.
Okay, well, he's not going to work for WWE anytime soon because, again, he is still under contract with AEW, and that contract has quite a long ways to go. And, oh, by the way, if you believe the other rumor innuendo, he's set to return to AEW sometime in June.
And I'm like, and I do. And I'm wondering if they're trying to tack on time for the injuries that he sustained and having to miss
they
time.
Will. Yes.
But, I mean, I can still see it happening somewhere down the road. And it's just for, like even Bret Hart. Did you ever think that you would see Bret the Hitman Hart back in WWE after all the stuff that happened?
Bret Hart didn't try to sue WWE.
I'll give you a fair point on that one.
I mean, that's basically it. So.
But man, there's been people
like I said,
way worse.
This
so
is
it's like,
this is much ado about nothing. This is just somebody decided to go, say hi to folks.
But then again, it does kind of go back to what I had to say, Stu. Does CM Punk really still have friends? Because from all reports, he's not necessarily.
I don't know, and I don't care. Basically,
yeah.
But
I'm
reporting it because it
I know,
was a story, but
But it does make you wonder if he doesn't really have any close friends there. Then why?
I'm sure he had some friends. That's as much as I can. That's much as I know, and I'm going off the reports from Mike. So, and I trust Mike. So, let's see. The other big news coming out of Raw. It is official. So Bad Bunny was set to host Backlash in Puerto Rico. Now he's going to be a part of the card. Him and Damian Priest in a street fight. Okay. That could be fun.
I was going to say that makes it way more believable, so I'm all for it.
Why not?
I mean, well, think about it. WCCW, World Wrestling Council territory, Puerto Rico,
yes,
right?
WWC, yes.
Usually known for its violence, right? Hardcore wrestling, kind of where it was birthed at, essentially.
Also known for where Bridget Brody was killed.
Exactly.
But also,
it's a violent style of wrestling that they're accustomed to. So I figure like, oh, this street fight kind of pays homage to that.
Sure. Should be. I'll be interested in watching. I'll definitely watch it. So, a couple of notes from AEW. They decided to start this 4 Pillars tournament to determine who's going to challenge MJF for the world title at Double or Nothing. You had Sammy Guevara and Jungle Boy Jack Perry. MJF inserted himself into that match, ensuring Sammy Guevara won. And apparently there's some sort of
they're friends.
They're friends or whatever. We'll see how long that lasts. So now Sammy will face Darby Allin this week. The winner gets MJF at Double or Nothing. I get a feeling that it's going to end up being a 4-way. We're going to see all 4 guys in a 4-way at Double or Nothing for the world title.
But it doesn't matter because he's not going to lose the belt.
He's not going to, no. And that's what I'm saying. So you might as well just put all 4 guys in there. So you had Wardlow. You mentioned the TNT title earlier. Wardlow beating Powerhouse Hobbs. Wardlow is now being managed by the enforcer Arn Anderson.
Mm-hmm. Which works out well, actually.
I think it worked great.
But the question about that title is, what does that mean? It's like how in the pecking order, right, of lineage and where it sits in the company. Where is that?
If you ask Tony Khan, it's on the same footing as the world title. I think to 99% of everybody else, it's a secondary title.
Yeah, we all know.
Like the Intercontinental title. So.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Wardlow, for the 3rd time, is the TNT champion. So congratulations to him. Also this week on Rampage, Naturally Limitless. 2 gentlemen that we are very familiar with, the Natural Dustin Rhodes and the Limitless one, Keith Lee, teaming together again.
That's an interesting.
They got this deal with Swerve Strickland. They're teaming together, so we will see that Friday night on Rampage. I think Rampage is on Friday night this week. It might be. They may have pushed it, but
sounds like our show.
Yeah. Well, you can't fight NBA playoffs, so yeah. Naturally Limitless. I like that name. Of course, love those guys, so it should be cool.
So you're saying you're buying the T-shirt?
If they come out with a
when it
T-shirt,
drops.
I might have to buy the T-shirt.
Oh,
yes.
there will be a T-shirt.
Yeah. By the way, in case you have not heard, for those of you in the Austin area or even around the state of Texas, so AEW Dynamite and Rampage will be in Austin at the Moody Center on May 17th. So they will be leading up to Double or Nothing. They'll be about a week and a half away. They are going to be at the Moody Center here in Austin. Tickets are available via AEWTIX.com. However, if you want to win a pair of tickets, simple. Go to hornfm.com, click on the contest page, and you can enter to win 2 tickets to see AEW Dynamite and Rampage May 17th at the Moody. AEW getting in the mood.
I'm telling you, I already think that it will sell out just because of location and the people that are going to come into Austin to watch that show.
And oh, by the way, AEW beats WWE to using that building.
Yeah, that's true.
WWE hasn't used that building yet. They haven't been to Austin in, a couple of years, I think.
The last time they were in Austin, I think it was SmackDown.
I don't remember, but they haven't been here in a while. So, anyway, so check that out, hornfm.com contest page, and you could be going to Dynamite and Rampage for free. So, should be cool. Coming up after the break, you'll hear my conversation with the new Impact Wrestling World Champion, Steve Macklin. That's coming up next on Sports Guys Talking Wrestling on the Horn. Okay, there we go. And I mentioned before that segment is already in the can, but if you want to hear the interview, again, available as a podcast. You can also check it out on our YouTube page after you check us out now. So, but yeah, check it out. Should be it was a fun chat. We do get into a little bit of military because he's a Marine vet. I'm an Army vet, so we talked a little bit about that. Talked about how it was both him and his wife, Deanna Purrazzo, winning their respective world titles at Rebellion recently.
That's what I was going to
So
ask.
congratulations.
That's really cool.
So we did talk a little bit about that. So
A little Becky Lynch, Seth Rollins action right there. Very, very cool.
yeah, it was.
But, it's like the universe lined up and he made the most out of his opportunity.
He did.
He was ready. He was in the right place, right time. And unfortunately, serious injury to the champ
Yeah,
makes it a vacant title. And they felt that he was the guy. And, congratulations to him because that's a big,
well,
big
and
moment.
in fact, and I'll spoil this now. So I asked him. I said, so, who is it that you want? He's got a title defense coming up in May against PCL, but I said, who would you like to see in the ring challenging you for that title? He said Josh Alexander.
Oh, I mean, it's only right. And I think that would be one hell of a match.
I think that'd be a fantastic match. I really do. So, but yeah, check that out. And of course, it will be on the radio show tomorrow night. So, you can hear it then too. So, nice yellow tape. So apparently, Braun Breaker speared Carmella Hayes through the set there at the Performance Center.
But spring breaking, so things are breaking.
Spring breaking. So, let's get into the third segment. Oh, here we go. They're replaying it. And boom. And through the wall, which, that wasn't much of a wall.
Hey.
Little girl just standing there going,
It worked. And now you've made a fan for life right there. And you see, and that was supposed to break and it didn't, so I'm pretty sure that actually hurt.
yeah.
And what's it called? We've seen the Shockmaster.
Now, we know how.
Ended by a wall like that. So
Yeah, but that wasn't because he got speared through it. The thing I keep asking is, okay, when are they going to have Trick Williams turn on Carmelo Hayes? By the way, I noticed this earlier. You notice how we almost never talk NXT? We're watching it every week, but we almost never talk about it.
Oh, I mean, but
I guess we should.
I mean, there just really isn't a whole lot of time.
Well, and I had the liner from Grayson Waller. To start the show,
but I mean, like for the people that are listening now, I think NXT has been one of the more entertaining shows because at least, like, what I like about NXT.
God, what is he? He looks so generic.
I don't know who that is.
Brooks Jensen, or as Brian Alvarez on Wrestling Observer Live calls him, the Virgin.
Why?
It's this whole
really
love
don't know.
triangle thing with him and Kiana James, and so apparently they're going. So he's fighting his former tag team partner, and it's a whole messy deal. So.
Got it. But
Yeah.
I mean, the one thing I like about NXT though is that they're always trying out new things.
Well, yeah, I mean, because they can, because it's NXT. If it doesn't work, hey, you just switch.
Yeah, which I actually like. Sometimes it gets too
I'm
ridiculous.
still of the opinion while I love Booker T to death, see his commentary sometimes. Good God, it is hard to listen to.
How would you know? We hardly ever listen to it.
I listened to the first 30 minutes.
Oh, that's true.
Believe me, it's not great. So.
Did he throw in a shucky ducky quack quack yet?
No, I think he saves that for the
Something big?
pre-shows for the paper or the premium live events.
Oh, okay.
So,
I
but
mean,
we'll see.
he has a catchphrase. It's more than what I got.
Yeah. So, all right, let's do our final segment. YouTube, Twitch. We'll be right back. Back here on Sports Guys Talking Wrestling, Stu Myrick, Justin the Smash Simmons. We got a few independent cards to tell you about. We will start in Houston. New Texas Pro Wrestling presents Texas Contender Series 17. Thursday night at the Houston Premier Arena. Bell time, 7 p.m. Central. JJ Blake, Culture Shock, Danny Orion, and more. That's New Texas Pro Wrestling this Thursday night in Houston. DFW All Pro Wrestling presents Dojo Wars 2 Friday at Haltom Theater in Haltom City. Bell time, 8 p.m. Central. This is a card pitting DFW All Pro Wrestling Academy versus the Forge STL Wrestling Academy out of St. Louis. Lou Gotti, Nigel Rabbit, LC Mox, Alejandra Lyon, and more. That's DFW All Pro Wrestling this Friday night in Haltom City. And then Heart of Texas Pro Wrestling presents Breaking the Barrier Sunday at the Limestone County Fairgrounds Arena in Groesbeck. Bell time, 6 p.m. Central. Barrett Brown, Exodus Prime, Promise Braxton, Sky De La Cremosa, and more. That is Heart of Texas Pro Wrestling this Sunday in Groesbeck. And that's a look at independent wrestling around the area. Wherever you may be, go out and support independent wrestling. New Japan Pro Wrestling. You had something.
Can I fit it in here?
Please do.
Oh, thank you. If you're looking for some live, at least
that's
combat
right, yes.
sports, in Austin, you don't have to travel. I know it's a little outside of the wrestling realm, but since I'll be working it, Stu, thank you again for letting me plug it. But live MMA and kickboxing, professional and amateur for Melee Fighting Championship 3. It'll be live at the Coliseum on 9111 FM 812 Austin, Texas. So that's on the east side of 35.
Okay, I know where that is.
Yeah, we were discussing it earlier. I'm like,
That's on the way to Coda.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So doors at 2, fights start at 3 this Sunday, April 30th. Obviously, first responders, ex-military, 50% off. Tickets are limited, so you can just check out meleefightingchamp.com to check out more and to buy your tickets while they still last.
I bet you Eddie and Jordan talk about that.
I don't know
on
if
fight night.
They talked to him last time. I wasn't sure if they got him on this time, but just trying to help him out. So I appreciate it, Stu. Thank you.
New Japan Pro Wrestling, Mercedes Moné, no longer champion. She lost her IWGP Women's Championship to Mayu Iwatani Sunday at a Stardom event in Yokohama. She has one more New Japan event on her deal. I believe it's one in Long Beach, and then I think she's a free agent after that. So we will see where she ends up next. Could she go to AEW?
I really thought she was going to come to America as champion.
Yeah,
it would have made a little bit more sense. But
I guess she's talked about she wants to live in Japan.
A deal somewhere in Japan.
But
the WWE really misses her right now. They really do.
AAA has announced that El Hijo del Vikingo will defend the AAA Mega Championship against Kenny Omega. That match is set for Triple Mania 31 in Tijuana on Saturday, July 15th. We saw the match that they had on AEW Dynamite a few weeks ago. Just silly good.
I mean, I've seen this guy work before that. And it's always amazing. But to go against Omega basically let him do his greatest hits on him. And I'm wondering how this match is going to stack up because I think they're going to both really bring it hard.
Well, and since then, I saw him at Supercard of Honor.
You saw him live? Right? Crazy when it's live.
Defending against Commander. He was on Rampage this last week, defending against Dralistico from LFI.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, he's so good. Oh dear Lord. The match with him and Commander might be one of the best wrestling matches I have ever seen live.
Yeah. That
was nuts. So good. So Saturday, July 15th, Vikingo and Omega for the AAA Mega Championship. So we did talk earlier about the WWE draft. Well, it's also NFL draft week, and the Horn has you covered. With the first round Thursday, you'll start with Ball Don't Lie, Rod Babers, Mike Harge, 3 to 6 p.m. Central at the Pluckers in the Link. They're I-35 and 290. After that, the Horn will run the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network coverage of the draft. So my good friend Zach Walchuk, Brian Broaddus, and the crew taking care of things in Dallas. That will start at 6 p.m. Central on the Horn, and you can stream it via the Horn app, hornfm.com, all that good stuff. Plus, starting at 6 p.m., you'll have the draft day parties with all the Horn personalities at the various Pluckers locations. Mike Harge will be at the Link location. Patrick Davis from Ball Don't Lie will be at the West Campus Rio Grande location. Rod Babers from Ball Don't Lie at the South Lamar location. Chad Hastings from Chad and Zay and Ty Henderson from Bucky and Aaron will be at the Research 183 location. Aaron Hogan from Bucky and Aaron will be at the Oak Hill location. Isaiah Collier at the Lakeline location, and Adam Wagner from the Wagner Wire at the Round Rock location. So make sure get out there. Always a fun time. Pluckers in the NFL draft. They always have great specials, and you get to be a commissioner.
So where are we going to be for the WWE drafts?
I'm going to be
They're
sitting here
not
at the
going to send us out to Pluckers?
No, they're not going to send us. No, not for the WWE draft. No. I'm going to be watching it from the confines of the Sports Guys Talking Wrestling World headquarters.
Did you ask him to send us out to Pluckers?
No.
Why not?
Because I didn't want to embarrass us.
I bet you get a big turnout.
You got 7 Longhorns eligible for the NFL draft, including the man many considered to be the best running back in the country last year, Bijan Robinson, who is expected to go early. So we'll see. But, yeah, that's the NFL draft first round Thursday night. Oh, by the way, you can watch it ESPN, ABC, and the NFL Network. That'll do it for this week. Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. You can follow Justin the Smash Simmons on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at The Smash Simmons. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Stu Myrick. That's STEWMYRICK. You can follow the show on Twitter and Twitch at SGTWATX. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. We live stream on YouTube and Twitch most Tuesday nights, 7:30 p.m. Central. You can catch us Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. Central on the flagship radio station for University of Texas Athletics. We are the Horn, 104.9, 101.9 FM, and AM 1260. Or you can catch us anytime on demand by either going to hornfm.com and click on the on-air tab, or by subscribing to us on your favorite podcast provider. Make sure you rate and review us while you're there. For Justin, I'm Stu. Thank you so much for giving us part of your time. We will see you at the matches.
Goodbye and good night. Bang!
And there we go. Meanwhile, we got the Briggs versus Jensen match.
Oh, that's what this is.
Yeah.
Don't.
So they were tag. They were a tag team.
But they don't look anything near the same as before.
Well, it's because Jensen is wearing just regular trunks and boots. He's not dressed up like a redneck like.
So he is
Briggs.
now. He is now
with Kiana James.
Yeah, but he's now what's it called? It's Richard Morton.
Yes, absolutely, yes. Oh, good God.
What was that? That was the not Dangerous Alliance, but the Missy Hyatt International. Is that what it was? Or Hyatt Enterprises? Hyatt International? It's something international.
No. It wasn't Missy Hyatt. It was
but
it was the
other
Alexandra
one.
York.
Yes, there you go. Yes,
who ended up being Marlena to Goldust.
Mm-hmm.
Terry Runnels. It was York Enterprises. It was him. It was Bobby Eaton.
Yeah, they all get the corporate makeover.
I want to. Yeah. Was Larry Zbysko part of that, or was that Dangerous Alliance? That may have been Dangerous Alliance.
I think that's Dangerous Alliance. But I was just thinking about when I saw that look. I was like, man, he looks kind of like I've seen this before. But it's like, Richard Morton, essentially. That's taking it back.
Yeah, that's going to ways back.
Was that still perfect WWE storytelling?
In that sense, the camera cut came at the right moment.
Ooh,
because he totally. I don't know if he was supposed to hit Kiana.
I mean, she was holding on to the rope. I mean, she fell off.
He missed by a mile. But I guess not because,
I mean, it still finished the story. Like, he still ran into her or ran her off the.
Well, yeah, when he bounced off the ropes, it bounced her down to the ground. Briggs has got Batman and Green Lantern on his deal.
Yeah, it must be a DC.
Shane Helms has the Green Lantern thing on his shoulder.
Are you trying to say that they're both,
He has a tattoo.
that he's going to be the next Hurricane?
God, I hope not.
Oh, I mean,
Shane Helms should be the only Hurricane.
If Vince was, but I mean, it makes sense because if Vince was in charge, I think that would actually happen. Or so that means it could still happen. But yeah, I mean, if Shane Helmsley was looking for work, or Shane Helms.
He's about to lose. Oh, she's, boom. Oh, he stopped the hand.
I mean, there is no room for domestic violence, regardless of how it goes,
Oh, she says she never loved him.
Dang, that hurts more than the slap.
The heartbreak. And now, look, Briggs. Don't hit him. Don't hit him. All right.
So they got back
Ooh,
together.
Nice mask, Dragon Lee.
Yeah, I've been waiting
Very
to see
silver.
them. I've been waiting to see them use him more.
Well, he's been on the last couple weeks.
Yeah,
at
but
least.
I mean, closer towards the top, not just kind of filling in.
I mean, he's only been in for a few weeks, so. I mean, yes, he is one of the best cruiserweights out there. Hell, he held the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title for a while.
Mm-hmm.
He was Ring of Honor TV champion. He was tag champ with Roosh, his brother.
Yeah, that was cool.
Oh, Lord. Jeez. This guy. Dude, seriously.
Who, Reggie?
Yeah, let's just,
Well, I mean, the guy's obviously, he's got like a unique talent that he can consistently pull off like these, acrobatic
Well,
moves.
yeah, because he was he was like Cirque du Soleil or something like that
I'm not
before he joined
sure.
WWE.
I'm not sure what he did
But,
before that.
I mean, that's all cute and everything, but I don't know.
Well, yeah, and that's just it. Like, after we saw everything that kind of like...
Obafemi debuts next. So
It sounds like
All
he's going
right.
to be paired with, what's his name? Apollo Crews all of a sudden or something.
Maybe. All right. We're going to sign off this week. Again, thanks to everybody for joining us. Again, hear the Steve Macklin interview on podcast and see it on YouTube. But for now, for Justin, I'm Stu. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great rest of your week.